Welcome to Red Eye. It's like James and the Giant Peach. If by peach you mean bottle of lotion. Let's go to TV's Andy Levy for our pregame report. Hey, Andy, what's coming up on tonight's show?
Thanks, Casual Greg. Coming up on the big show, the man who tried to set off a car bomb in Times Square is sentenced to life in prison. Our all-star panel will debate whether that's a long enough time. Plus, in a new ad, Delaware Republican senatorial nominee Christine O'Donnell says she's not a witch. We'll fact-check her claim straight ahead. And finally, why did Tennessee firefighters sit around and watch a house burn to the ground? The answer is not to get to the other side. Greg?
Thank you, Andy.
A pox on your throat, you bawling, blasphemous, and charitable dog.
Oh, you starveling, you eelskin, you dried nude's tongue, you bull's pizzle, you stockfish, Andy.
I apologize for nothing.
And why should you? May you die from a lengthy illness. Okay, let's welcome our guest. Oh, she's back. Her name, Angela McGlowan. Sounds good. Fox News political analyst and CEO of Political Strategies and Insights. Fun fact, she also holds the world record for cuteness, beating out a miniature horse wearing tiny sneakers. No. Yes, it was close. I'd like to welcome a first-time guest. His name is Ryan Reiss. 2 R's there. He's an actor, a comedian, and a writer. That's 3 things. If hilarity were egg whites, I'd beat him until he was stiff. My repulsive sidekick, Bill Schulz, he bottles his breath and sells it as bug repellent. And sitting right next to me, the country music legend himself, Larry Gatlin. He knows croonin' like I know spoonin'. I do it twice a day, usually with dead hobos. And his opinions are rank, as his sales just tank. It's our New York Times correspondent. Good to see you, Pinch. Please die.
Spit it out there, Greg. All the news that's fit to print in all the fonts that won't make you squint. And my favorite Jaws character was Captain Quint. Happy World Poetry Day, you rogues.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you.
You're stupid.
You're stupid.
Oh, shut up. All right. Yeah. Faisal got his reprisal. I speak of the Pakistani punk Faisal Shahzad, seen here, who tried to set off a car bomb in Times Square last spring and on Tuesday was sentenced to life in prison. This is what the bomb would have done if it had gotten off.
I'm the greatest star. Who is the fifth with the Zell? Who is out in here and jazz?
That wouldn't have been that as bad. Actually, it would be this. That was actually a simulation of the bombs. Well, anyway, the bearded boob had a chance to speak to the court, and he expressed remorse. Not really. He said this junk, quote, "This is my whole life, and I will sacrifice it for Allah. Muslims don't abide by any other laws because those laws are corrupt. We only believe in Sharia law." He added the destruction of the U.S. is imminent before the judge interrupted him, asking, quote, "But you became a naturalized citizen. When?" Shahzad replied, "April of last year." The judge then asked, "Did you swear allegiance?" Shahzad replied, "I did swear, but I didn't mean it." The judge realized, "So you gave a false oath." Shahzad said, "Yes." Wow, he lied. This guy isn't just a Muslim terrorist. He's dishonest. Holy Anyway, we now go to the backers of the Ground Zero Mosque who strongly reject Faisal's claim that America's end is coming. Oh, yeah, just kidding. Well, how about a kitten video, then?
Want some? No.
Yeah, there has been a trend of flat-faced cats, Bill.
Yes, but that one didn't know how to eat.
Yeah, that's kind of tragic.
To do.
Hey, Angela, with his radical ideology and his belief in martyrdom, isn't prison really just a piece of cake? It's no worse than its previous life.
Prison is a piece of cake, but if I were the warden, this is what I would do. I would have him sit there and have bombs explode all day long and have his skin singed. That's what I would do.
Oh, that's interesting and compassionate, I might add. Larry,
I love that about you.
Yeah,
Larry,
that's what I would do.
Yes, sir.
why should he live?
Oh, I don't think he should.
Yeah.
I think they ought to take him to my daddy, Marine Corporal Curly Gatlin, and say, "You, the old boy, tried to bomb Times Square. Come over here with me. We'll fix it." Thank God for Judge Cedarbaum, right?
Yeah.
Her name? I think she should run. I'm starting a write-in campaign for her. She gets it, like maybe for Attorney General, you know, somewhere in the government. She gets it. So at least gave him. Did she have the opportunity? Could she have given him the death penalty? Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
But isn't that kind of like you're giving him what he wants? He wants the 75.
No, it's giving him what I want.
That's why I wanted to sit there and suffer. Let him suffer all
No, but the thing
life.
is,
His
I don't
natural
believe,
life.
Ryan, see, I don't believe it's suffering if you're already a miserable jackass. It's fun to be in prison. I mean, you get to have sex with men. That's what he really wants anyway. What do you think, Ryan?
Greg, look, he had to say what he had to say today. He had to act like a tough guy because we've been making fun of him for so long. Like, this guy's a putz. You know, his bomb fizzled. It was nothing special. He didn't know what he was doing. Of course he didn't know what he was doing. All the guys that did know what they were doing blew themselves up.
Yeah,
it's a terrible recruiting policy.
All the good ones are gone.
All the Bill, all the good ones are taken.
Oh, yeah, we still got a lot of recruits, but they're really bad.
Well, that's the irony of this. Bill, he's the only reason why he's alive is because he's a failure. Why should failure and success be any different when it comes to punishment?
Well, I agree. I agree with what you were saying as far as the trial is concerned, because not to get all Gatlin on you, Greg, but this guy cannot light a stick of dynamite in a match factory.
Yeah.
And not being folksy off. So he wanted to do word bombs in the trial, and his word bombs were pathetic. He was like the worst thing that he said was, "Yes, I did say the Pledge of Allegiance, but I did not mean it." That was the best he had, Greg.
Yeah, why was it so entertaining? He was like, "Yeah, I took an oath, but you got pulled."
Exactly.
First of all, I didn't tell you how I'd kill him.
Well, how would you kill him, Larry?
Okay. How would you kill
A
him?
little bit at a time. You know, death by 1,000, the water torture, 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, you do that to our audience.
But by God, I can leave. I've been insulted in worse places.
You know what though, Larry? Then I'm with you. I'm with you. Death by 1,000 cuts. Then you pour salt on the wound.
yeah.
Or how about just feed him really fatty food? So over time his cholesterol rises, and after a while he starts getting heart failure.
You know, here's the argument.
Cupcakes.
The argument they're always making is that if you kill him, you make him a martyr. But that never happens. Like they said that about Saddam Hussein. Remember, they said he would turn into a martyr. It never happens. But in this case, if you know you're going to die, he's just going to sit and read the Quran all the time and just be consider himself a hero.
Well, is it going to make him meaner? I mean, if they get another martyr, it's going to make them worse. I mean, give them a martyr. What the hell? I mean,
Greg,
they're some bitches
taxpayers will
anyway.
have to pay for him, but I think when you do things like this, you should suffer the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I think killing him would be humane.
I never really understood the process of martyrdom, though, because I don't recall ever seeing one statue erected in the Middle East for one person that's taken their life. Like, do they even get honorable mention when they're in the when the rest of them are in the church? What do they do? How are they treated as a martyr after this happens?
They call them Martys. They just name your kid Marty.
I think
It's
there
short
might be
for Marty.
when they play.
Yeah, Marty.
Maybe there's like do they have like a hall of champions when they play goat's head soccer?
But
At the end of the field, they
Even
have
though,
their.
Bill, if they're not mentioned, it strengthens their cause.
I just want to remind you how we've gone through this period of never wanting to believe the worst about people. That it's always something else. Remember our own mayor when this first happened, what he thought it was.
If I had to guess 25 cents, this would be exactly that. Somebody who's homegrown, maybe a mentally deranged person or somebody with a political agenda that doesn't like the health care bill or something. It could be anything.
And he's worth $40 billion?
Well,
How did he get that?
If you listen to him and you listen to Janet Napolitano, people like this guy, Faisal or whatever, don't exist. Yet whenever you talk to them, they tell you calmly and clearly what they're going to do. They want to kill you. They want Sharia law. This is what they want to do. But then when you talk to somebody like Bloomberg, it's like, oh, no, it's probably...
Greg, I'm concerned, and that's why we need new leaders. I mean, for the mayor of New York to make that stupid comment,
Well, now,
I'm
hold
sorry,
on.
Mike.
He's got to say that. He's got to say that. If not for him, for me. I'm the one that starts to ride a cab, Greg.
Yeah,
and they don't look like me in the front seat.
All right, I see what you're saying. It's to make sure you don't get stabbed by a cab driver.
Thank you.
When was that done, by the way? Was that when that Bloomberg interview?
It was
that
like
night
the
of?
day after.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be like, we're all gonna die. Leave me not now.
I want my leaders to panic.
Yeah, exactly.
Ryan, I want my leaders to panic. Darn it. All right. From bad guys to ad buys. So Delaware Republican senatorial candidate Christine O'Donnell released her first campaign ad on Monday, and it's got a simple message. She's not a witch. Nope, on the contrary, she's you. How did she become you? Well, she cast a spell, of course. Oh, I'm kidding. Release the ad.
I'm not a witch. I'm nothing you've heard. I'm you. None of us are perfect, but none of us can be happy with what we see all around us. Politicians who think spending, trading favors, and backroom deals are the ways to stay in office. I'll go to Washington and do what you do. I'm Christine O'Donnell, and I approve this message. I'm you.
She should disappear like that afterwards. Yes, you heard correctly. She says all those things you heard about her aren't true, including the stuff she kind of actually said about herself. Nope, she's just a regular gal doing regular things. Although it doesn't explain this video of her shot back in 1993. Her other form is absolutely adorable. Ryan, what do you make of this campaign? Is it a bad sign when you got to start with "I'm not a witch"?
I'll tell you what. She says she's just like us, but I wouldn't have made that commercial. Well, you know, hello. You just open with, "Hey guys, I am not sleeping with Satan. I promise you." I know you've heard some rumors, but I'm not a bride of the devil.
I gotta tell you. I think, Angela, and you ran for office.
Yes.
I think she missed a great opportunity to turn it into a joke. Like, it's, you know, when she starts with "I'm not a witch," she could have done something at the end that, you know, disappear or turn into a bunny.
First of all, in Politics 101, you don't address what the enemy says about you, number one. Number two, why are you wearing black and why do you have a black background? That looks like a witch to me. However, I think that your average Joe Schmo will relate to that because this is like no election year has ever been done before. So I think it's going to help her. But why say I'm not a witch when you said it a while
Only say I'm
back?
not a witch if you're going to make a joke out of it. Larry, she says I'm you, but that's not true because you're not an attractive woman living in Delaware.
I'm not?
No, you're not.
When did I move?
I know.
Well, you know, many years ago, I had to do a little mea culpa of my own. And this is not exactly a mea culpa. I mean, I had to sit on a couch not far from here and say, you know, I'm a drunk. I had to quit drinking. You know, they say, why? I said, well, I got tired of throwing up on people. You know, that whole thing. So
Bill's not there yet, by the way.
Although that's
well,
very
I know
witchy.
because just a
It's
while
just
back.
pea soup they throw
Well,
up
I mean,
on
she
it.
could have said I'm the good witch from Wicked, you know,
Yeah.
$40 million production. I think the American people still, if you look in the camera, look them in the face, and say, look, this is the deal. Here's what I am. Here's what I'm about. She doesn't have, if she had gone up there and given some an overarching philosophy of Jeffersonian democracy, and they still think she's a witch, you know, I like what she did.
I think
Come out and say it, and then you're going to have other ads, you know, that she can get
And
into
Grant,
her policy
I
decisions.
see what you're saying dealing with the joke thing. I totally see it, but I think at this time with so many people suffering, they really want to see someone that says, I'm just like you, send me to D.C., I'll create
I think
better
that I think that part works. I think you're right. I just would have looked for a little bit more self-deprecation. You know, Bill, I talked to her campaign, and when she said "I'm you," she was actually referring to you.
She is not me. She's beautiful. She's got wonderful hair, rouge. I am that on Saturday, but the rest of the week she is not me. What she should have said is I am not a witch.
Yeah.
I am Admiral Norg for Planet Splorg. I would have believed that. That would have been the first thing coming out of her mouth that I would have believed.
Yeah. I know, but you make a good point. Like if I had to start, no, if I had to start, like if I had to begin a commercial, the first thing I would have to say is, I don't kill houseboys anymore. What would you say?
I would have fixed in that at the anymore. If I were your campaign manager, I would have been like, cut, let's get rid of the anymore.
All right, some guy made a, actually, this is how fast entrepreneurs work. There's already a doll out.
Yay.
There she is, dressed as a witch. And I have to say, Ryan, I like this because this is back when witches were sexy. Now, modern witches are all kind of middle-aged, divorced women with 13 cats and really bad tattoos.
Where you been dating? I'm looking at that. It looks like that's not really the sexy witch you got up there. It's just some, you know, it's just a heavy cloak. Like the
But
sexy
it's not-
witch is what you see on Halloween in New York City.
Yeah,
You
that's
have such
true.
an imagination.
Exactly. It leaves
you know?
something to the imagination. You don't see all the cleavage and everything.
I want to go back to your label of entrepreneur. That was entrepreneurship. He bought a Halloween Barbie and repurposed it as Senator Christine O'Donnell. That's something. I don't know if it's entrepreneurship.
That compared to what I do, it's
That's
entrepreneurial.
True. That's you. But at least yours has some moxie.
I do dress up dolls in my bedroom.
Yes, and they're made from real human skin.
that is
and that's
true.
the difference between you
Yes,
and stupid
yes,
Mattel.
yes.
That will not make the air. That will not make
The
this is
truth
longest
must always
bleep.
make the air.
This is the longest bleep in the history of this show.
I have sold a number of those dolls to unknowing children.
He has.
Yes.
They don't know their voodoo properties. That makes him a better witch.
All right, to the Greg